What's going on, everybody? Welcome to your weekly astrology forecast for the week of August 2nd through the 8th of 2021. Brian here, Fixed Air Moon, keeping the collective fixed on astrology. Truly appreciate you for tuning in. I hope you're all doing well out there. Apologize for my voice. Honestly, it's strange. I'm recording this with Mercury in opposition to Saturn as we speak on this Sunday afternoon, and I definitely feel like a little throat chakra restriction. So I'm going to try and power through, but yeah, it's like I got like a frog in my throat all of a sudden. I keep having to cough and clear my throat. Maybe I have the you know what. Ah. I assure you, you can't catch it through this screen, so I hope you're not worried about it. I'm not. Interesting starting off the week with Sun opposed Saturn at that. Looking at Saturn here in Aquarius, retrograde, people, governments, friends. There's a lot of these areas of life that are getting this seriousness to them with Saturn there. So as the Sun opposes it, we might see in our own personal lives certain projects or maybe group-oriented things that we started 6 months ago. As we saw the Sun and Saturn come together and start that new cycle, we're kind of reaching that peak out moment here. So I guess you're kind of getting a good look at the things you want to keep going forward with, that you want to keep building, what's still holding integrity, what's not holding integrity in our lives. A lot of innovative stuff, like, maybe we started new projects, new jobs, could have been a lot of things in our lives. And I think this is a check-in with the heart, with the Sun in Leo here. And, it is the Sun dignified in Leo and Saturn dignified in Aquarius. To start this week, just in general, very strong energy. But the Sun is a star and Saturn's a planet, so I think a lot of it. I think we gotta still focus, like it's Leo season. Still keep that focus on the expression of the heart and the things that are really like fun and creative in your life right now. A lot of narrative is don't have fun, stay away from people, be scared. I mean, is that really how we want to live our lives? I think we have to ask that question with the Sun opposing Saturn, which is, right, Satan, Saturn, Satan. I mean, kind of an interesting correlation there. How cold do we really want to be in life right now? Especially if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, it's summertime. I mean, this is definitely a time where, fun and friends and group activity are something that is highly coveted or excitable or something people like to do. And not to say that that's possible for every place that you live, but in a lot of places, for a lot of people, in a lot of different scenarios, those things are very possible. But I think it kind of comes back and puts the weight on your shoulders with Leo energy. Like, do you want to have a good time, or do you not? Do you like the narrative of what's going on in the outer world? If you're into that, like maybe you're into that. Maybe that's where you feel more comfortable. It's kind of like cold and secluded in a way. So there's this push and pull of like finding a happy center. I think a lot of it is the integrity of the connections in life that you want, or the innovations, or even like what you've been looking at towards the future. And are those projects, do they still hold value to the heart? And value gets brought up big this week with all the squares to Uranus in Taurus. Because Uranus in Taurus is already shaking up values. It's already shaking up our most fixed earth sign. The only fixed earth sign, but I mean, we're talking Earth, baby. Taurus. It's a whole different landscape of reality right now. And I think, it's pretty obvious to everybody that the old world isn't coming back, right? So we have to look at a new way to connect with people on this physical plane. And we have to look at new ways of value and store of value, whatever that may be for your own, what are you drawn to? I know some people are into Bitcoin. That could be a whole new different value system that might go somewhere. Crypto, gold, silver. I mean, if we're talking money, Taurus. I know some people are buying really nice cars and RVs and, stuff like that. So it's like there's definitely things in life that are going to hold more value than they probably ever did before, because we're seeing a shift of value. Not that money won't hold value, but I think there's a lot of writing on the wall that that economic system's not doing so hot, especially if they do some lockdown and, have to cut more stimulus checks. I mean, whew, talk about like hanging on by a thread here. So we'll see what happens with that, but I don't know. It's a shocking week. We're going to see the sun, Mercury first, because it's in front of the sun now, the sun, and then the moon in Leo come through that 14th degree of Leo and square over to Uranus and Taurus. So it's a very unpredictable week. Like, it's a very shocking week. Who knows what could come out, especially in the media and the government and through control systems. Saturn and Uranus are in square all year. They are separating right now with Saturn in retrograde. So that's like as loose as it's been in a long time, but they're coming right back. And even in October, we're going to see Saturn in Helio from the sun's perspective, where there's no retrogrades, make its exact square to Uranus. So that's getting tight as we speak too. Only a couple months away from that perspective of Sun square or Saturn square Uranus. Mixed with a lot of other aspects. I mean, it's hard to like I try to do these for the week, but it's like there is so much coming. It's crazy, but we'll get there when we get there. Sun square Uranus is always a pretty shocking moment of the year, I've noticed. It might not always show up as shocking things in the world. However, definitely could with the landscape of our reality right now. Wouldn't be surprised to see something crazy come out, something that nobody thought they'd see. Uranus tends to bring that, like, whoa, didn't see that coming. So something to be careful for. I think on a personal level, Sun in Leo, Uranus in Taurus, I mean, that's a square point of really like the best, like the gold standard of value in our own personal lives. And having to like change something. Uranus is great change. And I think we're at this point where so many people are trying to spiral up, and Uranus always wants to take us up. It doesn't look like it in the beginning often. Sometimes it feels like you just get thrown down in the bandsaw of Uranus, which does spin on its side. And with the rings, it does kind of look like a table saw. So Uranus kind of has that effect. You're either on one side, on the back side, getting thrown up into the air, into the heavens, the god of the heavens, or you're in the front getting thrown into the underworld. So not to scare people, but Uranus can have a sinister effect to it as well as a very enlightening effect, a very third eye effect. Lots of insights can come through, whether it does come through outer sources or just through your own self, because especially the ones that are in their heart right now, that value their heart and their creative abilities in Leo season and are putting that best foot forward to try and make things better in your life. North Node Gemini trying to make things better in your environment. We just saw the Sun and Mercury sextile that North Node. The North Node ruled by Mercury. That was a big deal. I mean, that was like, if you want the best, if you want to create the best, you got to kind of like focus on what's right in front of your face and do it, and not like look out into the expanse of the South Node in Sagittarius of the whole world, which I've definitely said or channeled before. It's kind of like time to focus on the here and the now. And of course, Taurus is definitely like that Garden of Eden effect, like kind of like what you have right in front of you that you do really value, that you can touch, that you can taste, that activates the senses. I mean, it could be an exciting time. Like, that's the thing, is like, I don't want people to think like, oh gosh, like all these squares to Uranus, like, bah. Like, it's not really that. Like, I think you can get huge insights into the future of what you want to create in life right now. We are seeing Mars and Venus in Virgo, which is mutable Earth. And Venus is going to start off the week with a trine to that Uranus. So, I mean, definitely a beautiful, aspect in sort of wild, outrageous ways. I think when you look at like the relation aspect of Venus over there, like it's pretty hypercritical of people right now. And with Saturn in Aquarius, I think we're all a little hypercritical of the people for all sorts of different reasons that we do keep in our circle or in our friend group or as loved ones, partners, all those things. They're kind of taking a turn too. And we just saw Venus square these nodes. So it's like, gosh, Venus has been in an interesting spot here in fall position in Virgo. Like being able to shift, being able to mold, to create what is beautiful in new and unique ways. That is a beautiful aspect with the trine over to Uranus. Like taking what you can create, taking what you can do, and almost having that integrity as well with the sun opposed Saturn to look at a new insightful way. And I think that this week is full of insight to show you a better way forward, to show you what is of the most value for your life, whatever may show up, and have you see it, taste it, feel it, you know, make it kind of tangible, as well as just know it in your heart. And especially with Venus being a very heart-oriented planet in itself, like I think we're all kind of ready for a beautiful change. I think that where we are at right now is about making that beautiful change. And what a better place than Virgo to do it, because we're hypercritical, we're to the point, and like we are picky because you want to be picky for the best. You want to be picky for the things that are going to go into the future. Like Uranus is like a spaceship. Like if you were going to get on a spaceship, which is a questionable thing. I see a lot of billionaires going to space right now. It kind of makes you wonder. I don't know. What are they all doing up there? Why aren't they focusing on this world? I don't know. If you believe you can even go to space. Oh, it's conspiracy stuff. I don't know. Never been there. If you're looking at a spaceship, though, we're getting all interdimensional with it. It's like being picky about the little things that you want to take on the spaceship with you to have the beautiful earth and connection and relationships that you want to take with you. And it's like all that stuff that is just bringing you down, not taking you higher. Remember that spiral up? I feel like this is a week of spiraling up and out into a lot of like consciousness even with Uranus. Neptune's really like unconscious. Uranus is like Akashic record conscious, like seeing into the future, seeing into the past, very third eye. So having that like outer awareness of your inner awareness of what you want to shift and create, I feel like is at a very powerful point this week. It's like something could come out of nowhere, whether it's just downloaded to you, whether a synchronicity brings it into your life and you're like, oh my gosh. It can be very Uranian people too, with Venus in trine to Uranus. Like a Uranian person would be some visionary, maybe an astrologer, you know, maybe me. I don't know. I'm a Sun Uranus, so I'm pretty Uranus. I'm pretty Uranian myself, but someone that's trying to show you a better way forward and kind of having to detach and let go of the past, of a very old program that's been running in our system, in our own individual systems at that. So there's our individual systems, and then there's this collective system. And I think what's really happening is we're seeing so many people break out of the collective system to start new individuated systems, which is very much this week. When I look at it and I channel the energy, it's like really breaking away from the old systems. Seeing what part of the old system you did like that maybe you can implement into your new system, but like really shifting to this next chapter. It's a pretty powerful week for that. Next week, we're going to see Mars get really close. Next week, actually, Mars is going to square these nodes, but it's not there yet this week. It's going to get up to 6 degrees of Virgo by next Sunday. So there's this build up to this big action for truth, North Node in Gemini, information, asking questions, being able to make a quick decision, an impulsive decision on information that finds you. And I would not be surprised with all the Uranian action this week as we build up to a new moon in Leo at 16 degrees next Sunday. Something is closing out to really illuminate what it is you really want to go for, what it is that your heart is singing for, dancing for, yearning for. Like I can't help but think people that have broken from the system are just inches away from getting a taste of exactly what their hearts have desired or wanted. So I think this week brings a lot of positivity through uncertainty. Like instead of worrying about what things are going to look like, just be picky about what presents itself. Is it a hell yes or a hell no? Does it make sense? If it doesn't make sense right now, it's probably a bullshit story. It's going to be honest. Dealing with way too much South Node, dealing with Aquarius energy, and Jupiter, the dispositor for the South Node, in Aquarius again, locked in this week. Like, what is what is the collective, what are the people in this society, in this reality going to believe? Like, what are they going to believe next? Asking questions and having common sense is, and then acting for what sort of practical environment and reality that you want to have right here, right now. There's going to be genius insights that come through just for that reason. Just for people in relationships too. I think it's a great week for relationships. Venus is stressed in Virgo, but at the same time, Uranus is trying to have that stress and that sort of like just analytical sharpness make a really good decision to take relationships to a more beautiful, more sustainable place through change and through doing them differently. Like, we could have been doing relationships wrong this whole time. Who knows, right? I know I've done plenty of relationships wrong in my past. Maybe you have too. It's like a nodge, like a nod, like a gear just shifted, right? To another gauge of what a pure, sustainable, practical relationship would look like. We're seeing Juno, Jupiter's wife, the asteroid of relationships, marriage. It's with the South Node in Sagittarius. Exact. Kind of interesting. So we're going to see Mars also square that asteroid Juno. Venus already squared it, and the nodes. Like, what is the ultimate union right now? What does that look like? Do beliefs have to be the same? Probably, to be honest. I don't know if, like, two people with completely different beliefs in this reality that we live in right now are going to go too far together. I think it's a lot of karmic relationship stuff too. So we're dealing with, it's almost like we're breaking free of dealing with past life karmic relationships and kind of getting ready to go towards like very new, pure ones that have probably likely been desired for a very long time. So I think we're definitely, it's a clean house kind of situation when it comes to relationships. I think if you're realizing that your relationship that you're in doesn't fit into your reality anymore, it's, hoping and believing that it's going to fit into it in the future is probably not, it won't be comfortable. It might, but it's probably not going to be comfortable. It's probably going to be stress. So there's that. We're also going to see Venus quincunx Chiron in Aries. A lot of things are hitting Chiron in Aries. We're going to see Mercury make its trine over to Chiron in Aries, the sun and the moon, all before we get the new moon in Leo on Sunday. And when you think about like Uranus and Chiron, I mean, they're right past Saturn, and we're seeing the week start off with the sun opposed Saturn. So it's very interesting dealing with like Saturnian energy, breaking past it, doing what the heart wants, doing what's fun, creative, exciting. Teenager energy is very much Leo. So we come into a new moon. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but when I was a teenager, I was doing a lot of partying. Like, I was having a lot of fun. Like, I didn't have a lot of responsibility. That's kind of like Leo. Like, Leo just wants to show out, have a good time, put it all out there, put it on the table. So we kind of have to do that for the reality that we want and kind of like break free from a lot of the old stories and the old programming and the old system that we've all fell victim to at one point or another. And now's like, are you really going to do it? Are you going to pull out 100%? Are you going to teeter and like stand on the precipice of this edge of like, well, I don't know. I was kind of comfortable in there. I was there for a long time. Or like ready to just go for it. And I would say that with all the aspects to Chiron, I mean, they're good aspects. They're trines, right? So at this point, with the sun even finishing up in the first decan of Leo and coming into that second decan, I think when it comes to like a core level of our own personality and our own self-realization of who we are and the healing that we've done. And remember, Leo is the sun, Aries is Mars. I mean, these are defining masculine energies, like that want you to act, that want you to move, that want you to create something. So it's almost like, gosh, at this point, especially seeing Chiron at degrees that, we haven't seen it at for 50 years in Aries, even though it is retrograde now. Still, it's a high degree. 12 in Aries. It's been a long time. So we're all kind of dealing with trying to like use our healed masculine energy for something better, for something that our heart wants, that we understand. And I think it's helping us realize that, especially if you're in your heart right now and shining your light and admitting that and not holding back, that you're not. I don't think people are going to feel like such a weirdo. Like, I think we're hitting a breaking point right now where people are like have had enough, and they're over caring. Like, maybe I'm a weirdo. Like, we dealt with that a little bit in Cancer season with all the squares over to Chiron. Like, oh gosh, should I really put this out? Like, what if people don't like it and I get my feelings hurt? Yeah, no, no, we're done with that. I think more people in the collective than ever are about to say exactly what's on their mind, and to not hold back for fear of some wound to their own ego or to their own identity, because they're just gonna put it on the table. So it's a put it on the table week, and it's like different ways than maybe you would have thought of. And we're gonna see the moon too as it like comes back around into Cancer, right? It's gonna be a dark moon phase in Cancer. We're closing out a Cancer lunation cycle. So I think emotionally we're kind of getting ready to move past the foundation of what we need in life, have that locked down. Certain things don't fit in that home within your body anymore, and it's like, all right, dealt with these emotions, they're gone. I'm ready to charge forward, and I'm ready to hold the line, and I'm ready to not be afraid. So it's kind of a rebellious week, and it kind of gets me excited as I like channel the energy for this horoscope. It just feels like there's excitement for some rebellion, whether it's big time rebellion that we see in the world, which we're already seeing. I mean, other countries, France, Cuba, like there are massive people fighting for freedom right now. We don't even see that on the United States mainstream media news. It's ridiculous. We don't see a lot of stuff on the mainstream media in the United States. It's really just one thing over and over again. Two things: politics and COVID, which might as well just marry those two because they're pretty much the same thing at this point. So at this point, it's like, what is at home to you? You know it. You're going to start pushing things away that don't have that resonance, that don't have that security in your life any longer, that don't make sense any longer. And it's straight courage time with Leo season as we come into a Leo new moon by Sunday, which is 2 degrees away from a square to Uranus. I mean, it's a Uranian lunar cycle we're starting. And I'm excited. I think it's good. I want people to be more Uranian. It's free thinking. It's out there. It's not just gonna... It's past Saturn. Saturn's like, hey, wait, stop here and do this way. Uranus is like, I'm going to turn over on my side and spin this way, and you can't do a damn thing about it. So it's kind of that energy. We are going to see a little bit of a yod to Mercury by the end of the week at 23, 24 degrees of Leo from Neptune and Pluto, which are in sextile. So there's definitely this courageous aspect, I think, that is coming through from God, kind of pointing the finger here to courage and understanding courage and being loud about it and speaking it. I have a chart of Monday up in front of me, but I was going to see if there's anything else huge that I want to talk about with Mercury, but really that yod's the biggest thing. There's not a whole lot, like everything's kind of right around 10 to 15 degrees. So like, yeah, everything kind of like at those later degrees, it's just, we're not there yet. But yeah, speaking up for truth and courage, right? Because the North Node in Gemini, the disposer being Mercury, information's everything. And you have to look for information right now. You can't just like expect it to be served to you on a silver platter. That's what they want you to do. When I say they, I mean the government. Like, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Like, the people who are in charge of the media, they want you to just take what they give you and believe it. And I don't think many people that watch this channel are under that spell. Some might find my channel that are, and they're probably going to hit the thumbs down button right now. So if you want to hit the thumbs up button if you enjoy this show so far, that'd be great. I'm in kind of a silly mood. It's kind of like we got to have fun. I think that that's a lot of it too. A lot of energy in Leo, new moon in Leo. I mean, this is starting cycles of courage and fun and passion and heart. And like, that is the opposite. couldn't be funnier with Saturn over there in the opposition of Aquarius right now. Just cold. Do what you're told. Everybody. Don't pay attention to what your own wants and needs are. This is the best for every single person. Doesn't matter. You could have complete intolerance to whatever it is, but this is the only way. It's very South Node Sag too. And of course Jupiter's in Aquarius with Saturn. Saturn's like, I'd say little henchman, but Jupiter's so big. It's like Saturn's big henchman, just blowing beliefs of like, where's the future gonna go? Like, I don't know where it's gonna go. And South Node's on Antares, so there's kind of this dark presence. Not that Antares is always dark energy, but it is Archangel Michael and Lucifer in a lot of different stories out there about the two fixed stars that are in opposition where these nodes are. It's the curiosity of the heart right now that God's pointing the finger to, that's having people step up with courage to remind yourself and understand what fun is and what life's all about. We can get so caught up in stories about how to live your life right now, but is that really like how you want to express your livelihood, your light? I mean, I know for me it sure as hell isn't. Like, I don't know. I mean, a lot of it comes down to like if you're scared or not. I mean, Leo's the lion. You think that the lion's scared? The lion ain't scared. So a lot of this is like pointing this finger of God saying, don't be scared, love, trust. I mean, even with Neptune in Pisces, part of this yod, like there's a trust and a surrender that whatever happens is going to happen according to plan. And then there's that great saying like, worry will not take away your troubles today. It'll only give you problems in the, I guess that wasn't very important because I could not put that one. Worrying won't take away your problems today. It'll only stress you out for tomorrow. There. It's not exactly how it goes, but so it goes. Saturn opposed Mercury right now. And I got Pluto on my Mercury. I'm trying my best. I'm trying my best to get this video out for you guys. But if I could give any inspiration through this video, it would be to be loud, to be a lion, to do things different, to keep spiraling up. Instead of just getting stuck in the same thing, in the same program that we've run over and over again, it's very clear that that old system and that old world is crumbling right before our eyes. With a Pluto return to the United States chart, there's just so many layers. The Mayan calendar, 2012, which was activated in 2020 with the Venus retrograde in Gemini. And the Mayans called it with the Venus retrograde in 2012 in Gemini. And it got activated. And then that solar eclipse we just had activated again. So like, spiral up. Make changes to live a better life. Do something different. Do something out of the norm to get the value that you want, to have the fun, to have the heart that you want. Because Lord knows there's plenty of propaganda still to come. There's plenty of manipulation still to come. Are we going to stand in our truth and in our light, or are we going to bite? And are we going to like start to doubt our light? And I think that this is that week of that new moon energy as we build up to another full moon in Aquarius 3 weeks from when I filmed this. Like, it's weird Uranian times that can take us so high, that can break us free from chains, that can liberate us to an actual sort of feeling of heaven on earth, but within yourself. Because I think once you have that connection and you're willing to spiral up, whatever this physical plane throws at us, we're just going to figure out a different way, especially for the rest of this year while the North Node finishes up in Gemini. Because when those nodes shift next year into Taurus and Scorpio, and with Jupiter coming back and on its way to Neptune in Pisces, like, you think you've seen fear propaganda yet? Like, the fear propaganda now is baby food compared to where we're going. So, like, this is the heart and the foundation of love and courage that we really came here to let break free. And I think that that's what this week's all about, is to really break free from the system with the sun oppose Saturn and then with the squares to Uranus. So it's these harder aspects that are asking you to make a decision. And even Mars is trying to make critical decisions of what's going to be a better reality here in Virgo. And it's willing to put the work in. It's willing to analyze and to fix things. You know, Virgo's kind of like, right, it rules like kind of doctor energy and like kind of surgery too. And Mars is very much about cutting too. So we're like cutting into reality, fixing it, doing a little bit of doctor work, a little surgeon, maybe a little dose of this, a little dose of that, so that we can really bring something new out from a very creative standpoint of self-actualization of the life that you want to live. And I think that that's so important right now. I would say by the end of the week, once that new moon comes, I mean, this is a great time to start matters that you love. This week's going to show you, I think, what brings the most value to your heart, what's going to take your reality further and take it higher. And we're in this test of courage here with this lunar cycle. Test of courage to follow that light, to illuminate that light, to express that light in your most authentic and Uranian way, so that you are not being chained to a one belief, one value system that's trying to be forced upon us. It looks like, it looks very totalitarian out there. It looks very authoritarian out there in the political world. Very interesting. And I looked up the definition of liberal. I invite you all to Google the definition of liberal and just ponder at what you see from the Democratic side, which is the left, which is supposed to be liberal. Is that really what it looks? I mean, is that really does that have a correlation? The definition and what we see with our own eyes? Because I'll tell you right now, the definition of liberal, I fall square into that. Freedom, understanding of other people, being open to others' opinions and options. Like, the definition's very North Node Gemini. And it's just not. we live in the upside down. If we were living Stranger Things right now. So in an upside down world, being able to set that intention of love and heart and courage and true self-expression for what lights you up, for what brings you fun in life, to love and to connect with other people, to give that light and to just keep giving it, because the sun is always going to keep giving light. It's every day, doesn't matter. It's going to give us light. We have to take that role on right now in our own lives in some way, shape, or form, to keep expressing light, to keep expressing love, to bring that out there, because there's a side that's very cold that doesn't want that wants their face covered. Can't even see people smile with a mask on, right? Like, yeah, that's love. Sure. Oh, and if your sick relative is in the hospital, don't go see them. No, let them stay in there by themselves. There's no love in that narrative, any way you slice it. So I would hope and pray that people are starting to realize just how big of a power grab is going on in the outer world, so that we can actually start to illuminate the change that we need to make a world that is more valuable for all people, that still has a level of heart to it, but also have a critical eye for what is going to make your life beautiful, what is going to make it better, and to stop playing old systems out or karmic systems out that leave you feeling empty. Because if there's one thing Leo isn't, it's just not an empty sign. It's always producing light. It's not empty. So how can you produce as much light as possible moving into the following week, into that Leo lunar cycle. And it's going to take courage. It's going to take strength. It's going to take like a regalness. And even starting off the week with the sun opposed Saturn, it's going to take a integrity to stay in that position, as we're going to start to see more opposition and more weird things show up in our life. So don't be surprised if weird things show up in life this week. Like, it's just that kind of a week. But ultimately, whatever shows up is to take you higher. Whether it's you realizing that whatever showed up does not hold the value it once did, does not hold the authority that it once did. And it's time that we start taking authority for our heart, taking authority from the center in which gives us energy to produce and to create a life that ultimately is best for the individual. Because once enough people take that initiative to fight for their own individual rights, freedoms, and authority of their heart, then that is contagious, and that's the kind of thing we need to spread throughout this world, really, or this realm, as a friend of mine has enlightened me to start saying more. So how can you spread more love this week through radical times, through strange times, unpredictable times, but always look at the light and the silver lining behind it, so that whatever tries to throw you off or throw you down, as that table saw that I was talking about with Uranus, getting into that space, realizing why it's there, and then catapulting yourself up by making a critical change with a critical eye to beautify and purify the world that you want to live. Because that's how we're going to get through this, is individuals standing up to live a life that they want to live. And it's Uranian, very Uranian week. And Uranus is not just going to do what it's told. It has to get banished by Saturn, because it was just going to do its own thing and rule the skies and make love to Gaia. That's right, Uranus and Gaia, Earth, they were a couple. They were a thing. So, I don't know why I want to say that, but there's some mythology for you if you didn't know about Uranus. I'm pretty sure Uranus actually, well, Uranus's testicles, right, they became Venus. He got castrated by Saturn, and they became Aphrodite. It's a really weird family story, okay? There's something in that story that I'm missing on right now, but I think Gaia was Uranus's mother. So not only was Uranus either his mother or daughter, but still lovers. So that's how much Uranus doesn't give a shit. And in a lot of ways right now, we have to not give a shit about what once was and the system that we all grew up and took part in for generations, and start to break out. And the United States, even for what it's worth, was built on rebellion. It was built on revolution. And Pluto returned, right? So we're in a place now, too, where I'm seeing other countries that are stepping up and fighting for it. America is, too, but we haven't gotten pushed to that limit yet. But I would not be surprised if by around October, America gets pushed to that limit, where we actually do have to take a bigger stand, take a bigger role, if we still want independent values and freedoms, to be a unique individual, to be a unique creative energy, or to just fall into line again. So I think this is a week that's going to test us to let go, and to show us how far we can go into the new story with the right mindset and the heart and the courage to do so. Card for the week is Two of Cups reversed. Woo! Soulmate card reversed. Yeah, I think just when it comes to like-minded energy right now, it's very important, and we need to be critical of that in all aspects of our life so that we can fill our cups up as individuals. We don't want to just give out energy to people that don't want to hear it, that are stuck in their beliefs, that just want to keep running the old program. I think this, if people don't want to see it, whatever. Like, let them live that world. It's a split collective. There's people that want to live in the old, follow those rules, and there's people that don't. Like, let's put our energy and our emotion and our connection and authenticity into grouping up with more people that want to see where things can go, that want to spiral up into the best union of energy ever, to merge those power systems. And merger is important. Like, there's so many squares happening from Uranus and that energy in Taurus, and then Aquarius and Leo, that we have this scorpionic energy that's really taking a big hit, a big blow from all that energy on the back end with no planets in it. So kind of like in Scorpio fashion, like getting hit blindly by this unseen sort of energy that's going there, which is the merger. Like, we got to merge with energy that wants to rebuild, reshift, reshape in new ways and not old ways, because those old ways are going to be unfulfilling. It's outdated. And yeah, I mean, Two of Cups reversed, it's just like Venus too. I mean, if we're talking relationships with the Two of Cups, it's definitely a relationship card. And Venus starting off the week in quincunx to Chiron, and then trining over to Uranus. The new way that a relationship can look, the grounded, practical way that actually makes sense right now to your heart. Remember, the dispositor for that Venus is Mercury in Leo, just met with the Sun. Just, had that conjunction. Like, understanding exactly what your heart wants and being picky and critical so that you can take relationships to the next level, take values to the next level, is so important in just what's going to bring us our own individual comfort and what's going to bring us comfortable with other people as well. So, kind of a weird card. Why'd we get that card? 10 of Coins reversed. Yeah, reality's just shaken up. It's not the all, we got it all, the system reached the top. It's just different now. It's a new reboot. It's a new program. So we got to start integrating into the new program, building that structure and getting used to it, and like stay away from the old karmic stuff that was just a spiral down into fear, spiral up into love. I love you all very much. I do want to shout out the Leo King for all that he does. Great astrologer, my favorite astrologer. I want to shout out Christopher Witecki, another great astrologer. Robert Phoenix, always dropping truth. Great astrologer. Love that dude. And K. Pacha as well. Really appreciate their work and all that they have taught me in their own different ways. If you want to learn some dope astrology, the Leo King's got a class coming out called Hypergate. Check that out. I'll be taking it. I'll see you in there if you take it, because that's next level astrology that's never been taught. Some dope astrology. So if you're ready, if you want to go to the Hypergate, I'll see you in there. And I love and appreciate you all so much. I truly appreciate you for sticking around and watching this video. Hope it brought you some sort of insight or inspiration into your week, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.